guys, it's Judy. Welcome to my kitchen. It's fall now, and we all know fall brings beautiful drinks like pumpkin spice lattes and leaves, but it also brings hunting. And in my family, hunting is a staple. And so Curtis has been hunting for years, and this year I'm gonna get to go hunting. We thought we'd use up the last of our venison, and I thought I'd bring you along for the ride. If you wanna see how we make it in my kitchen, then stay tuned. Before I decided to make this video, I already cut my meat up, and so I have it here in the bowl. It was a shoulder roast, and I cut it up into squares-ish. Some are maybe about an inch, some are about 1.5. I did about a 1/4 cup of each of soya and worcestershire, 1/8 of a cup of sugar, 1/2 tablespoon of cayenne, and 1/2 tablespoon of paprika, and probably 2 good tablespoons of garlic. I'm gonna put it in the fridge and let it marinate for a couple hours probably. It's about 1:45 right now, so I'm hoping to get the stew started probably around 2:30, and then it'll be ready for supper. All right, so for vegetables, I'm gonna use potatoes. Mine are kind of all a little bit small, so I'm probably gonna use, I have 3, 6, 9, 10, 11-ish potatoes, but they're pretty small, like. So even if you did about 6 medium potatoes, that would probably be just fine. So I'm gonna dice them up into 1-inch squares. Then I've got some celery. So I'll probably do about a cup of celery, if not a 1.5 cups. I always like celery in stew, it's just the best. So I might even do 2 cups, just depending on how much my pot can hold. Carrots, I'll chop these into little circles. I'll be doing about 2.5 cups of this. And then some onions. So I've got 2 small onions, or you can use like 1 large one. Or drop them on your counter, whatever. So that's what I use for vegetables, and so I'll get chopping and see you after. I've got my veggies all cut up. I'm gonna head over to the stove and pop them in my pot. So I'll do the onions, some more garlic, because I love garlic. The carrots and the celery, I'll put them all in, add some salt and pepper, and then saute them for a little bit. They won't get super soft, but they're gonna be cooking for 2 hours or whatever. So I'm not too concerned about that. Just want to kind of bring out some of those flavors a little bit more. So let's head over to the stove. Olive oil's heated up, and we're gonna pop in all those onions. We'll throw in the celery and our beautiful carrots. And then our lovely garlic. And I just kind of, I don't know, glob it in. Oh, and make a mess on my stove, you know. But give that a stir, add some salt and pepper, and kind of let that saute for a few minutes. I put some flour in our venison, so 1/3 of a cup, maybe a little bit less, just to coat it, so then it'll help to thicken up our stew a bit, and yeah, make them go brown on the outside when I fry them. Do it in smaller batches, don't do it all together, because if you do, then it doesn't really saute very well. It more just cooks it. So you don't want to cook it in the pan, you want to cook it in your stew. So you just need to get a nice little brown on all the sides, just to keep that flavor in there. And so, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do now. I did the first flip, and I don't know if you can see, it's pretty hot. So the hotter the pan, the better the sear. So I said saute earlier, but I mean sear the meat. I've added potatoes and some beef broth to the stew. I've got it on medium heat right now. I'll probably add some red wine just to give it a little bit of a richer flavor. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I'm just kind of letting you know what we do when we make stew. And sometimes it varies, right? Whatever your taste is feeling for that day, or whatever you think your family's gonna like. But this is what I'm trying for mine tonight. I'm really glad that you could be here in my kitchen with me on this Tuesday afternoon as I'm cooking. My day off from work, and yeah, I just wanted to cook with somebody, with some people, as Ruby's barking at the neighbors. I love having food with people, and like now that it's the season of Rona, when she comes to visit, no one else gets to visit. So I'm really glad that I can share this with you, because you are a way better company than Miss Rona is. So I just finished cooking the last batch of my meat, and I'm gonna pop that in my stew. Oh, look at the crispies. I'm gonna come, oops, that's like burnt gold. So I'm gonna come with some wine and just kind of rub that off. Can't remember the technical term for it, but it's just gonna add more flavor. So I've got my wine going in my pan here, and I added about a cup of wine and maybe about a tablespoon and a half of butter, and then I added probably about another tablespoon and a half of Worcestershire and soya sauce. So I'm just letting that simmer a little bit, and then I'm gonna add it to my stew. Last but not least, guys, I added about half a teaspoon of rosemary and about a teaspoon of thyme, and then I just wasn't quite satisfied with the aroma, so I thought it needed a little bit of sweetness. So secret ingredient, which your kids are probably going to put in anyway, because if they're anything like my kids, they have to have this on everything. Some ketchup. So I did maybe about, I don't know, a quarter of a cup or something like that. Just kind of smush it in. And it smells phenomenal. So now that we've got it up to a good boil, I'm gonna turn it down to a simmer, and then I'm gonna cover it, and I'm gonna let it simmer for like 2 hours. So guys, this is venison stew. I really hope that you guys have enjoyed this recipe, and I really hope that you enjoy this hunting season if you guys are hunters, or you're able to get your hands on some wild game. Oh my goodness, look up recipes or try this one out. You're gonna love it. It is like game changer for your kitchen and your family. I'm so glad that you could be here with me this afternoon, and yeah, just keep me company as I cook. So hopefully I'll do this again. But yeah, if you have any good venison recipes, put them in the comments or send me a message, because I'd love to try some other recipes, because my goodness, our freezers are gonna be full this year. So if you have any venison or elk recipes, I will take them both. Anyway, thanks so much, and I hope that you guys have a great time around the table.
I really like it.
Good. Eli, what about you?
I also really like it.
Awesome. Kid approved.